Well, look at who was on time today. It was me. Well, I think actually technically I'm a minute late, but but that's pretty on time for me. So, hey, how's everyone doing out there? Everyone doing good? I didn't post this on Instagram. I didn't do the usual like letting everybody know or anything. Man, there's like a real big delay in here on my camera for some reason. But yeah, I hope everyone's doing well. I just told I have my coffee thing on here still. Whoops, sorry. That's where I sell the art if anyone was interested. Um, I was doing a contest on, I started like a personal Patreon if you're new to this, just specifically to do like contests and things like that. Has nothing to do with my work related one, anything to do with any of that. I'm not trying to encroach on that in any way at all. So I just want to make that very clear, and say that, and so no one gets confused or anything like that. But yeah, so I just thought it was fun. It's a pretty good success. I was saying that next month for the May contest, I'm gonna do Powerline stuff to give away. So there's like a Funko Pop, there's a Loungefly, and there's a painting, and so that'll be everyone's chance to try and get a painting. I was trying to see if I can change the frame rate because it looks like it's like dropping frames. It looks a little weird today. I don't know what's wrong with it. Anyway, hope everyone can hear me okay. Hope everyone can see me okay. Look, yeah, see, it's like got weird frame rate thing going on in here today. I don't know what's happening. Could be my computer. Might not be me. Who knows? Drinking a little beer today. Just cracked it open. It's called Heady Topper, The Alchemist, Vermont. This also drinking out of a can because it specifically says on here to drink out of the can. And it says that because it says, quite simply to ensure a delightful hop experience. The act of pouring into a glass smells nice, but it releases the essential hop aromas that retain what we have worked so hard, or essential hop aromas that we have worked so hard to retain. Sorry, I was reading it out of order. But yeah, one of my great longtime friends, Tim, brought this for me. He was just here with his family. I got to see his son and daughter, and I've hopefully opened a window where his son is now going to be obsessed with Power Rangers, and I can just keep mailing him stuff constantly. But they were visiting from Portland, and I only got to see him literally for like a grand total of about like an hour and a half, which sucks because I haven't seen him in forever, and I love him and I miss him, and so I don't know. Makes me sad when I miss people and the things. But he was a part of like a big, it wasn't just like him and his wife. It was like the whole big extended family was there and everything. So I'm also like, I get it. And they live on the West Coast now, and the rest of the family's like on the East Coast. So it was a big deal for them too. Ever since like COVID, it kind of threw in like Christmas season visitings and stuff like that and everything. So, but yeah. Yeah, Vermont. This is from Stowe, Vermont, which is where Tim and his wife Heather got married at one of the best weddings I've ever been to. I have a couple weddings I think are made. Like my best friend Kim. I think it's like all my like best friends. They're like their weddings are the best. But like she got married Tim got married in Stowe, Vermont. And it literally is a town that looks like a snow globe out of a movie. I swear to God, it's like where the Hallmark family or Hallmark Channel sets all their movies or something. But yeah. Oh, that's cool. James got home from seeing Return of the Jedi in the theaters. I actually recently saw Return of the Jedi on the big screen, so that's the only reason why I probably won't see that again, because I did one of those when I was visiting Kim last... Oh, my God. Was that like... That was like a year and a half ago. I was thinking it was like recently, but it was like November 2021, I guess. I went up for Thanksgiving. No, it wouldn't have been 21. It would have been 21. Yeah. Anyway, it was one of those things where it was the orchestra plays underneath of the movie, and it was really cool. But it was Return of the Jedi. So I was like, okay, I can't keep watching Return of the Jedi over and over, even though I love the Ewoks. But yeah. Do I have another program open or something? I don't know why this is doing this. My computer's being a little jerky today, like a little laggy. But yeah, speaking of movies, I saw the movie Air last night, which if you're not familiar with this one, it's Ben Affleck directed, who's also in the movie, and then Matt Damon, Viola Davis, Um, Jason Bateman is in it, and it's all about Nike designing the Air Jordan and like what they went through to get Michael Jordan involved in that and everything. And it was it's so good. I gotta tell you, I was hoping it would be good. Like it looked like my type of movie, but it was like an excellent, like such a well-made movie. I highly recommend watching this if you can, if you have the opportunity, or if it's playing near you. Definitely check that out. It was very, very good. I also saw 2 days earlier, or last week, I saw Renfield, and I hated it. I was so disappointed. I was looking forward to this movie so much. There was like some funny parts, but overall, the movie just sucked. It wasn't good. And it could have been good. It had the bones to be good, but it was just sloppy and got so boring by the end of it. So it was like, Tori, you were not in my personal Patreon live stream that I just did, not but 7 minutes ago. It ended. You're one of the winners this month for, you won the Donald Duck painting. So I'm just letting you know, you're getting a Donald Duck painting that I made. So, surprise. But yeah, and Dee is making the ranch crusted chicken strips. Oh, she enjoyed them. That's good. I hope you seasoned the chicken ahead of time. We've learned that. Oh, Diane, you saw Air. It was so good. It was like crazy. Yeah, I'm. I have AMC A-list, so it's one of those where I was like, if I can see a movie in the theater, I prefer to see it in the theater. Because movies, I believe, are made with the mindset to be seen in a movie theater. Not all of them are. Like, so you don't, you know what I mean? Like some, especially in this day and age. So it's just one of those, like, I had it and I'm like, and it was good. It was a solid movie. And honestly, I am glad I saw it in the movie theater. It's got a killer soundtrack that came through on those speakers real well. So I highly recommend that. I've got my Guardians tickets for Thursday. Thursday at 8. My new favorite thing is this theater at Disney Springs, which was one of the dining theaters. So you have to go through, like, you're choosing your seats each time, but there's like, it's 4 seats in the middle, but then each side has 2 rows because it's a dining theater, and these 2 rows don't have any, or 2 seats don't have anyone next to them, so there's an aisle. So it's like eliminates one of the factors of like having to deal with somebody talking right next to me. Like, yes, you could still hear the person behind you or in front of you, and I could hear people like off to the side, but it like feels a little less like in my ear. Like when I saw the Mario movie, Super Mario Brothers, like we had to get up about 30 minutes in the movie because I could not hear anything that was happening in the movie because the people on the left of me would not shut up. And the movie was not cheap to see because I did this like 4-course dining experience because I was curious about it. So it was like $65 a person, but that included 4 courses, 2 alcoholic drinks, like a poster, and then the movie ticket itself and the tip. That included tip. So I thought that was a deal, and I would do one of those again. Obviously, I'm not going to do it for every movie I see, but yeah. So it's just anyway. But I see David and Neil is agreeing with me that Renfield was a letdown as well. I agree. Oh, Jules, the daughter's going to Canopy Lake Park. Wow. The first time I ever went on a flume ride. Oh my God, what a nightmare. And I was afraid of them ever since. That's so funny. Tori, you're 10 minutes away from Portland. I hear Portland, Maine's great. Because somebody was just saying where I want to move, but I want to make sure that it's like a very LGBT friendly, not just friendly, like I want a lively community there. Like I have friends who live in Seattle, and there's literally anything you want to do, they have a gay league for it. It's like, oh, you want to rollerblade? They have a gay league for it. Like it's 2023 and they have a gay rollerblading league. My friend lives in Austin too, and they have a lot of leagues and like community and stuff like that in terms of that, but it's Texas, and I'm not saying anything against this. I love visiting Austin. I would like to go somewhere that just vibes with me in that same way. Sometimes I think about Vermont, but it seems a little sleepy is the only thing I'm worried about. I always say that I think I would love to work for Ben and Jerry's because they are such, like, they are still, I believe, technically a, what's the word for it? Craft. It would be the term, like you would call a craft brewery, but in terms of the ice cream, it's that version of it. But they are very like socially active in terms of like giving back, recommitting themselves to being a cause for good in the community, which I think is very admirable. And I would love to work for a company someday that is is so active like that, in that way, especially for people that don't have a voice or have a smaller voice or no voice at all or anything like that. You know what I mean? It's that whole like everything should be. I told my friend Amber, I was like, I'm the little end of the microphone and at a restaurant because I'm too afraid to say something went wrong, and she is the big end of the microphone where she's like, no. So I was like, that's what I feel like we should be to each other too, to help each other. Like we're just all cheerleading mics, yelling out there. But yeah, but I mean it in a very non whatever way. We could talk about work. I won't get into it. I mean, I don't want to be like, I try to make a big firm decision, but I do want people to know that I am not the host of the Tuesday show. So if you do follow me for work and you are wondering about that sort of stuff, I have just as much information as all of you have. I don't know anything until we have a meeting or until we go, but I am not the host. And I don't believe I'm even on the table as a host. My guest is a rotating host position. So I am not hosting on Tuesday, just so you know. I believe that will be Craig. But if that's what everyone is wondering about or something like that. Also, the studio is like in his house. So we still go there. So they're still there. So like he can still come out whenever he wants. So it's not like this person, not like he disappeared. I try to keep everybody, I'm not being weird. I am being weird. I'm trying to leave everyone to their own privacy. Does that make sense? Where I'm happy to talk about me and things that affect me very much and dip into that sort of stuff a little bit. But when it comes to like the inner workings and all that sort of stuff, I don't know. That's their business. And I don't want to ever be perceived as being somebody who's talking poop on the internet. Let me just scroll through the comments. I'm sorry. Okay. My favorite thing to watch on Netflix, or what my favorite Netflix shows are right now. Okay, so here's the thing. I love Netflix. I have been a Netflix fan since way back in the day when it was only the discs, before they even got to the streaming. But right now, I got to tell you, they do not have a lot of shows to just put on and watch. Like, they don't have Schitt's Creek anymore. They don't have... I wasn't even the biggest fan of New Girl. I like the characters. It's like I could cut up sections from every episode of New Girl, but overall, like, I don't love the episodes. Like, it's a weird show, and no other show was like that for me, but they don't have that. They don't have Parks and Rec. They don't have The Office. They don't have these, like, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Superstore. Not that they ever had those, but they don't have those. And now Hulu doesn't have Brooklyn Nine-Nine. They have Superstore still, but I think they do. God, I hope they do. But those also don't have... Brooklyn Nine-Nine has hard copy, and I need to buy it because I literally would watch that show on repeat. But Superstore doesn't have the last 2 seasons on a hard copy, and I would literally watch that show all the time. So for me, my favorite thing to put on Netflix and just let it keep repeating is the 30th anniversary Power Rangers special, which I absolutely was in love with. I thought it was wonderful, and I thought that is what I wish it had been a movie, honestly. Like, I wish that had been the final push of, like, let's just put it all on the table and let's make a movie, because I thought it updated and matured itself in a way that left it accessible to newcomers, to casual viewers, to diehard viewers of 30 years. But it also, like, took itself seriously, but not in the terms where it was like, oh, it's so serious. Like, but it took the material, what it was doing, seriously. So, like, it was like Barbara Goodson as Rita was like goosebumps, giving me goosebumps, like, in terms of, like, her performance as the like, I loved the dialogue. I would love the lines she would say to Billy, which is like, why did you bring me here until you could die by the cool ocean air or whatever? And like, and I loved how they morphed, and I loved so many things about it. I thought it was more phenomenal. I thought it was just, I want more of them. It's not like I want this to be a 60 episode TV show like the original show was or anything, but I would love if they could do another one of these in this same vein, use those sets that they have, those gorgeous sets that they built. I like it. I know some people were like, oh, I wish it had a bigger budget, whatever. Yeah, like the CGI was there, but you got to think this is the first time there was literally like zero Japanese footage in the show. They recreated that Megazord for CGI for like essentially on a television show budget. Like, so yeah, it looked the way it did, but I still was like, I don't know. I thought it was fine. I thought it was a kind of a callback to the 95 movie, but I loved it. I loved the way it was filmed. I thought that right away, if you're somebody who watched like me and you know a lot more about it, like the fighting, because Billy like punches some of the putties in the face and then he kicks one in the knee. And I was like, okay, it was very establishing right away. They killed Trini in the opening scene. The fighting with the putties, the way she said die and not destroy, you know, those little updates that still made it accessible, but it also gave me this element of like, I was a little scared. It was a little like intense. And I was like, but I loved it. I loved it so much. It still was the show that I grew up. And I was like, this is how I would want it. This is how I would make it, you know? So I thought it was great. I love the nods to it. I love seeing Billy front and center and getting that, like, what he deserves as being like having that moment. And I love seeing Zach again too. He was great. I don't know. It was just so good. Oh, Andrew said he went and saw the Picard finale in the theater. I wish, girl. I was at Disneyland and I tried to make the reservation for the IMAX because it was free to see it, and it was in the one down the road here, and it was like the site crashed, and then I couldn't get to it. Did I complain to the theater manager? David, it doesn't make a difference anymore here. They're just like, it is what it is. I'm like, oh man, it sucks. I wish there was an Alamo Draft House here. It's one of my biggest pulls to move to Texas. Sorry, let me go. Oh, Julie, you're in Seattle? Okay, next time I'm in Seattle, I better see you out there. Oh, Dollywood. David went to Dollywood. I'm so jealous. That's on my list. I'm doing it. Is my moving imminent? No, but I would say that I probably won't move in Florida. So, like, once I'm out of this place, I'm out. If I could have gotten a house in this neighborhood in Winter Garden called Independence, like I literally was looking at houses. I wanted to buy this house. I don't know if it was just like my credit wasn't good enough or I didn't go about it aggressive enough or whatever. I now know like my credit score and things like that because I bought a new car. Yay. I don't like talking about some of that stuff sometimes because I feel like the good stuff, because I worry that it comes off bragging or like whatever, because trust me, never in my life did I think I would even get there or that this would happen. So yeah, I bought a car and you know, I saved for like 3 years for it, and you know, I was like barely like in that range of what I wanted it to be, but I enjoy it. I do have the type of guilt. Not buyer's remorse, because buyer's remorse makes it feel like you regret it. I have guilt. I'm guilted whenever I make big budget purchases. So, but I did it, and yeah. But this house that I had looked at was like 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, fenced in yards, detached garage, which I would totally use for like a paint studio. Duh. And it was $280 is how much it sold for, and that house, like 2 doors down now, just sold for $490,000. And yeah, there was one even 2 doors down from that house that I looked at one time, and it was like three something. So like the pricing in this neighborhood is just, it makes me sad where I'm like, God, it's like shaded, you know, I could ride a bike to the movie theater, a brewery, all these restaurants. There were stores there. There's like literally it's this own little self-contained thing that makes me so happy. It makes me so sad, not happy. I didn't get it. I'm sad. But also the way things are going in Florida right now, it is not really a safe space for people like me. So I worry about that stuff. But I would have still liked the house as like an investment property in terms of like, you know, any of my friends or family could go there when I'm not there or when I'm there and visit, and they'd always have somewhere to go that would be close enough to Disney World that like we could do like Florida stuff and go to Disney World, and then I could come and go as I please. I think it would have made me much better, but yeah. So Oh no, Ben & Jerry's was sold? I didn't know that. Jeff, heading to Vancouver and Alaska in a couple weeks. Any suggestions for restaurants in Vancouver? So there was a brewery that was in I think something's wrong with my focus. There we go. In Stanley Park, I would recommend going to, which I would say walk the city. Because I don't know where you're staying, but I stayed like right at the port where the boat pulls in, or the ship pulls in, excuse me. And, there's like that area. Then there's like the Steamtown area, which is very different from like the downtown area, which is very different from the Stanley Park, the waterway area. And you can walk to like pretty much all of it. So I would definitely recommend checking that out. There was we went to the Steamworks Brewery that was over there that was good. Stanley Park had a brewery I liked that was really good. I have a friend that lives there, and they were basically my tour guide, so I can't remember the names of a lot of places, but there was like a Korean chicken place we went to, and it was so good. There was literally everything I ate there was good, so I really don't have a don't go to it place. I would say try some of the mom and pop places. Depending on how long you're there, I would say try to go to a place in each one of the areas. So like you have a little mix. Oh, and East Vancouver. I think it's East Vancouver. There's one more area, and it's like a hipster kind of area. There is a Mexican restaurant there. Oh my God. I don't know if I have the name of it. Hold on. Let me see. I know I took a picture. I was like, it was one of the best meals we ever had. And they had like a special for like 2 for whatever. So me and my friends sat at the counter, and I was like, it was delicious. What was I doing with an orange in my mouth? Okay. Trying to go back where it was August. Okay. Yep. See, the thing is, I'm worried I have all the pictures on my like other camera and not on here. That's weird. Oh, okay. I was too far down. Sorry. Oh yeah, I'm way too far down. I sent photos to me. Okay, so here's the place. Oh man, does it tell me where I am? No. It's in East Vancouver though. It's like a Mexican restaurant. It was so good. It was like, can you see that? So good. Oh my God. It's basically just a bowl of cheese and all these things. There was this other like cute cafe portrait, that was like kind of by the water that was really good. And yeah, I should have the island. Oh my God. Vancouver Island? Not Vancouver Island. Here's that Korean fried chicken. I cannot remember the name of the little island that's like right there. I didn't take pictures of names. God, I'm awful. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. Anyway, I think you can't go wrong. I'm sorry. I'll if I can remember, I'll look up some stuff and like actually write the names down so I can tell you. But yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I agree with you, David Neal. The Diplomat on Netflix. No, I have not watched that. I've heard that's the Kerry Russell one. That does look interesting. I've heard that one's okay. Oh, that Stanley thing on Disney Plus. Yeah, I want to see that. I didn't see the Queen's Gambit. Oh my God, it's in my Hulu list. It doesn't look the same as Netflix, so I never think like, oh, I'll go over to the list where I made it. So I got to watch that. Do I still keep in touch with Denny? Yes, I do. I forgot to change my shirt. I was going to put a Roosevelt shirt on. That's why I was like, why is this t-shirt so sloppy? Whoops. This is a Star Trek shirt from Star Trek 4 about the whales. I do keep in touch with Jenny. Actually, I might see her this week. Shoot. Although I said Friday, and Friday is Cinco de Mayo, so maybe I won't. Or maybe I can. She can come and have chips and guac. I did watch The Mandalorian. I am finished with The Mandalorian, and I have to tell you that I'm a little underwhelmed with this season. I liked some, and I liked the episode about the guy who worked in the cloning thing, but it was also like one of those where I was like, am I missing what this is actually about? Like, there's some things where it just seems so mysterious, and then there's no clarity in the end, and it's like, I don't know. I thought season 2 was the peak of the show. I wasn't in love with it in season 1. Like, aesthetically, I liked it, and I liked the gunslinger, like, Western aspect of it, but overall, I think that show was meant to just be like individual episode stuff. I felt a little weird. I don't know. I'm not weird. I didn't love it. I don't know. It didn't have that same punch for me. Like, I remember like my jaw being open, like on the floor in the last 2 episodes of the last season of season 2. And then the same with, I liked Boba Fett better than I think season 3 of The Mandalorian. There's one Boba Fett episode though that is awful. Oh, David lives in the county over from Dollywood. Send me some cinnamon bread, David. Jeez. Oh, what kind of car? I got a Mazda CX-5. So it's good for road trips, good for the doggies. I like it quite a bit. Did Ryno buy a house? God, Kylie, I wish. Yeah. I know people would be sad to make me leave, but that's why I also wanted to start doing these more frequently, to be like, I got you. We're going to keep doing these no matter what. Whatever another job is, wherever I go, my thought process, like literally I've been thinking about moving to Milwaukee because my friend is really sick, and I want to go spend time with her while she's still, with us and whatever. And not trying to be morbid or whatever. She could be with us for like 30 more years, I hope, and probably longer than me. And so I think like, okay, well, if I move there, what would I do there? And it's got like such a vibrant eating, drinking, theater, arts like community that I was like, I'd have more to do there than I would here, I think. Like, I know the theme parks or whatever, but God, it's so hot all the time here, but there you can like share stuff about the mom and pop people, maybe the people who need that help, that amplification. But anyway, regardless, the places I look at, I'm always like, what's the basement look like? Because that's what my YouTube studio is going to be. Where I do, like, I want to have, wherever I go next, I am building in an area for this, that is literally for this, and it's going to be everything I dreamed of in my house. I'm talking neon signs. I'm talking all the stuffs behind me. You're going to see my Power Ranger stuff behind me. We're going to get the movies out, like Bell's bookshelf. It's going to be like that, but movies. So, yeah. Anyway. Scrolling down. Where was that video you took of the Stranger Things light clock thing? That was in Vancouver, Shelley. That was in Steamtown. Yeah, and it's a steam clock that's out there. Oh my God, Julie, I'm telling you, I could eat Mexican food every day of my life too. It's my favorite food. Like, it's my favorite food to go out and try. I don't know. I mean, I love Asian food too. Like all different types of Asian food. Like, I'm not talking Chinese food. Like, I'm talking like, I mean, I like Americanized Chinese food. I mean, that does you well on New Year's Eve, right? Like, but I like authentic, a little more authentic. I like Japanese food. I like Thai food, Korean food. Like, I am always up for trying anything. RJ, I like Filipino food. RJ is saying, RJ, who just spoke at a Filipino food thing today. Any updates for me? No updates yet, but I feel it coming. He likes to troll me. Friday's your son's birthday. Happy birthday, son of Bill. I have a tradition on Cinco de Mayo that we've been pretty consistent about, that I have to go to Chewy's with Craig and Kylie at some point. Well, no, we decided it doesn't have to be Chewy's anymore, but we do have to go somewhere. But the problem is it's a Friday this year, so it's like we're going to have to do a daytime, I think. I need to finish watching Beef. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to read all the chat. Those are beautiful. What color? I got it in. It's in black. there weren't a lot of like color options when I was there. I was basically like any car that isn't white. I feel like white cars seem to visually age the most, the fastest or something. I don't know. And then if it like rusts or something like that, anywhere you can like really see it very clearly. That's in my mind. It doesn't show dirt. But I got a black one because basically the guy took me in the back. He's like, the car hasn't even been processed yet. It like literally just rolled off this truck. Like he had to take me in the back. It was literally covered in like stuff, and like didn't even have the parts in it to. I mean, it had the parts in it. Like it couldn't turn on essentially because there was no. They had like not put the battery into it or whatever yet. But it so it had 4 miles on it, and it was black. But when I walked up close to it, it sparkles. So it's like. It looks like the bridge in Thor. Speaking of, not that Thor. That Thor. I mean, she's fine. Whatever. I don't like Natalie Portman that much. I feel like a little. I don't love that movie that much. Anyways, I don't know. It's weird. I'm indifferent on it, but whatever the bridge is, that rainbow bridge, that's what I feel like it is. So it reminds me of that. Like, that's why I was like, oh, this car's made for me. It sparkles. So I call it Sparkles right now. No, that is okay. Anyway, yeah, I have to follow my dreams. I need to get my head figured out, and then I need to just literally be like, I need to take like, I need to just focus on one thing for a second and just be like, I need to take the shot now. And I got a couple ideas for a couple of things that I really want to invest my time, like, and energy into. And I know they might be good, they might be not, they might whatever. I don't know. I have the worst imposter syndrome that has gotten really exponentially worse in the last couple of years because just some like crap stuff happened, and it was just like, now I'm like, I'm terrible, like I will never be able to do this, and like, and then I can do it, but it's just like, sorry, that was very Nick Miller of me. I feel like I'm gonna dance out of the room. Yeah, it's like Chicago, like Chicago. I don't know a lot about Chicago. I've been once. It was good. RJ lives there. Joe, I'd love to have you visit if I'm in Milwaukee. Chicago Ampliverse, the HQ. We can finally open the community center like I've dreamed of. I would love to do that, honestly. Trey, listen. Atlanta would be on the table because they have a thriving film industry. Like, they are essentially Hollywood East. The problem is, you told me that it's like $1 million to live anywhere. I don't make money, so that's the hardest part about life right now, is that it's just like I'm in a finite situation where like I'm never going to be able to afford a house, a moderately priced house at that. So it's like, I don't know. I just feel very like, we'll see. Also, Georgia is not without its problems either, but I'd pick it over anyway but here. Also, I feel like your weather's a little better. Like, you get more cooler weather than we do, but I don't know. I gotta keep going. I just gotta. I'm bad at big decisions, but I did it. I bought a car. I can do this. Yeah, I see, Julie, you're saying that the Honda Pilot was like 50,000. I'm assuming you want to do a hybrid, or you're doing a fully loaded one or something like that, because I would have gotten a hybrid, but the hybrids were like way out of my price range. Those were like, the cheapest hybrid I saw was like 40-something thousand. I was like, hell no. Bifrost. Thank you, everybody. Is that what I should call a car? The Bifrost? Trey, I like your car. I did look. The CRV was on the table. If I had not ended up with that Mazda, the CRV was the next car I was going to go drive. White cars do heat up the least in parking lot. That's the thing I was worried about the most with the black car. But I've had a black car before, but thank you, everybody. You're very supportive in here. You're very supportive. I'm scrolling down. I'm sorry. I'm so slow in here. I'm trying to read as fast as I can. Yeah, Tigret, I'm sure you feel it too. You're a very talented person. You're very creative. You're very crafty. It's hard to be like these talents matter. Girl, I want to go to Seattle so bad. I'm telling you, the one day I spent there was amazing, and I was like, okay, let me look. What's the base? Like, what would you have to make to live here? It's a lot of money, and it's a tech city now. So it's like I don't know tech, and it's very very expensive. But that would be my jam. Seattle would be great because the Disneyland thing, close enough to Disneyland. Also, my friend, like I said, lives in Portland. I have to visit Portland because that is sort of like in there too. But I need somewhere that's like, it's got stuff to do. It's got art. It's got culture. That sort of thing. I know. Also, I need to go somewhere where there aren't tornadoes, and I'm worried about earthquakes. So, and Florida seems to be having a lot of tornadoes lately. So, I'm worried about that. Yeah, basically, I need the least amount of things to kill you that are there. So, if we could figure some of that out. Um, Oh, yours was only 34, Trey, for the CRV. That's nice. Yeah, I was gonna say out the door you got to like 39,000. Yeah. Hi, Lizzie. Yeah. So I'm just like, oh, I don't know. It's hard. It's also like, where's my family gonna go visit? I don't know. There's a part of me too where I'm like, I just want to go back to Massachusetts. Donna, I'm not even kidding you. You just said Palm Springs, and I sat at a table. It was like this week or last week with my friend Amber, who they have now applied for jobs in California, where she's talking about moving to California. And I was like, I will go with you. Like, I will move with you. And she talked about Palm Springs, and it's 2 hours away from Disneyland, but she explained how it was like, it has restaurants, it has these things, it has all this stuff. And I was like, I looked at it and I was like, I don't know. This could be something. It's close enough that I could do something in that field, but I don't know. I feel like I was going to talk to you all about something else too. It was movies. Oh, I've been playing Jedi Survivor this weekend. I plugged the PlayStation. It's not in its permanent place. I was thinking about doing doing a stream of it when I started it, but it's just such like a complicated game, and it takes me so much to learn. Like, I don't think I'd be able to like actually talk and read this and play that at the same time. So I might stick to like the side scrolls right now if that's okay. But I also chose to like keep that as something for me because it also feels special because all of you, a lot of you out there helped contribute to me being able to buy this, which was incredible. And so I thank you all. And yeah, I just I've been having a lot of fun with it. Trying to take my time. I've played a couple hours though, honestly, already. Like I played a little bit Friday night. I played a couple hours yesterday, and I played more today. So try not to rush through it. But the game is great so far, and I don't no spoilers or no story details or anything like that. But when I got to what the story is going to be about, I was like, what? Honestly, Kim, the Kentucky like the Louisville area was like surprisingly very like there were pride flags up everywhere there, and I was like, this is nice. See, if I was in Milwaukee, I'd be just a 6-hour car ride away, so I'd be crashing at your house all the time. Ooh, Joe, you're going to see Wicked. That's fine. I've seen Wicked a couple of times now. I'm looking forward to the movie, seeing what they do with it. Yeah, Jedi Survivor definitely requires focus, practice, and timing, like John is saying. It's like one of those where like even when I'm concentrating, and it's also one of those like I can't see all the stuff sometimes. So it's like a very like you have to keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. So it's just like it's crazy. Would I want to live outside of the country? Um, I think I'd definitely be open to living in like Canada. I just feel like I mean, I don't know. I barely see my family right now as it is. So it's like, I don't know, maybe I would see them more if I lived out of the country. I'm telling you right now, if a job opportunity came up in Ireland, I'd probably move there in a heartbeat. Um, I also have a couple of friends that are there, so um, I'd consider it depends where it is. I'd move to Vancouver in a second. I'd I'm interested in like going to Toronto and seeing that part out. What's in the middle above Milwaukee? Is that Calgary there? Um, but yeah, to living in Toronto, I'd be even closer to my family. So like that's one of those things where I'd be like, well, yeah, I can drive back that way. Actually, I do think about that a lot. I don't know. Portland, Maine was floated around. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard, and we are definitely in a crunch time right now in 2023 before things happen in 2024. So it's a very like, I don't know what to do or where to go, but I want to be ready to go and move and do whatever. But what I liked about Seattle too, though, is you could get on a train and be in Vancouver in like 3 hours or whatever. I'm just trying to find a place that will fit the lifestyle, but like it's that weird hard combination. But then once you find that place too, it's like, what do you do for a job while you're there? You know what I mean? Like I can't just do all this internet stuff. David, I would move to Sydney except for I'm afraid of the spiders that would kill me there. And also it's very hot there. New Zealand, they film Power Rangers there. That is true, Trey. That is honestly true. Isn't the Atlanta airport like the most, the biggest? Is it the biggest airport in the U.S.? No, it's something. I know Orlando's like the most visited one right now, which is garbage. But okay, let me see. Jedi Survivor. I talked about the movies. I know there was another thing. I'm gonna stop this at 9:30 though, because I told myself I was gonna do a short one. Just to be like, hey, I haven't been around for a little while and stuff like that. So, yeah. So, what's my next thing? I've got to go to Milwaukee. I think I have to go to Milwaukee this month, before the end of the month. Then I got to go to Massachusetts in July. I'm hoping to go for like a couple of weeks, to be honest with you. Like, ideally in my head, I'd be gone for like 2 weeks at least. I want to go spend time with my grandparents when it's not like freezing cold outside and they're still with, I can paint their stuff for them like they need and, do some of that stuff. But I'm not leaving the Diz yet. I'm not announcing my leaving or anything like that. I'm just saying that I have not been selected or chosen, nor has it even been discussed that I would be hosting the Tuesday show or anything like that. If I could do something that was literally full-time, like just lifestyle vlogging, I would do that. But YouTube does not. First of all, I don't get the views for that, but I like all of you on here. So far it's great. I'd rather have the quality versus the quantity, excuse me, because we got some quality people up in here. And YouTube does not pay money. I mean, without the super chats or the donations or anything like that, just from the views, I think it's only like, I may make like $2 a video or something like that, which is fine. But it's just like, so I don't know. It's just about like figuring that stuff out. Oh, I know what I was going to say now. So on, what night was it? Friday? What's today? Thursday night. It was Thursday night. On Thursday night, I got invited to go to this new Alice in Wonderland bar that is opening it is, I believe, like officially, it had its grand opening on Friday, but it's officially open to the public this Friday on Cinco de Mayo. Yeah, so I got invited as like for like a media event to experience that, and then I was able to go in. I've already been there to One Up and Cocktails and Scream, but I took a whole video and I vlogged the whole thing. So I'm going to put that video together. So look for that later this week, hopefully. It was a lot of fun. There were some really unique drinks, really unique atmosphere, just a really cool thing that, like, if you are coming to town or you're local, it might be some fun, like, change of pace sort of thing to do to, like, celebrate somebody or just have, like, a fun night out. Because honestly, it's very, very unique. And this the people who like own and run this place, they are really kind of putting like these themed experiences, these bars and restaurants, or not restaurants, but there's like food element to some of it. But there's like there's an aspect to it that's just, I don't know. It's really, really cool. The Cocktails and Scream, I love that place. But they're also making someday a Star Wars tiki bar is what they've said. There's even like a hint for it downtown, but yeah. So I'll have like all the drinks, picture, video, all this stuff. I take you on a walking tour of All three of them. I can't remember if by Cocktails and Scream I had many cocktails. Not many. I didn't have a lot. I mean, I had one at 1UP. I had two. I had like three. Well, no, I had like two and some at what am I saying? High tea is what it's called. And then I had like two at Cocktail and Scream, but I wasn't driving, so. Minnesota, eh? Yeah. Yeah, Patrick. I feel like what you're saying is nice. Patrick's saying he suggested when I struggled when I moved from home as it was rapidly drifting out of the loop at home, but it moves on regardless. So you move back, don't fall into the trap you're moving back to. It was. That's a good way to. That's a really good way to put it. I do feel like, oh, Jay, that was very nice of you. Thank you, very, very much appreciated. I was like, I have a thing where I was like, oh, I'm gonna save for this now, and it clearly means so much. I can't remember, but I was like, I don't remember what it is. There's a Star Trek video game coming out too, so that's why I was like, okay, I know it won't be as involved or as good as like Jedi Survivor probably, but it's like coming out. I think they just announced it's May, and so like I want to get that to play too. So I'm like, no, the Scum and Villainy bar. Every time I'm out there, I'm always like, I got so close once. I've got to go. I've got to do it. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to do it on my next trip. I say that every time. But I don't ever have a car. I should have just rented a car. I should just rent a car because the cost it is to like Lyft or Uber from LAX on this last trip I was there was $120 for Lyft, and I was like, whoops. It was cheaper on Uber, but with like tip and everything, it ended up being like $96, and I was like, oh, thank God my friend Diane dropped me off on the way back. Do I have any cruises booked? I do not. I do not have that sort of money. So no, I'm not going on any cruises, but I'm not interested in them. You know what I would really like to do is one out of the West Coast. I think that would be really interesting. And I would like to try like other cruise lines. My friend Brian is going on, follow him on Instagram, Brian Trex. He's going on a Virgin Atlantic cruise, I think, that goes to like Europe. And I've heard interesting things about Virgin Atlantic. So I'd be curious to see how that goes. And I know he's going to like do all his social media stuff while he's on it. I'm sure, unless he's doing it for him and I've just ruined that. But anyway, but yeah. When are you going to Los Angeles next? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe in June and in August. Apparently there's a work event out there. But I don't think I can go away for that one. I did just renew my Disneyland annual pass, which sucks. That's what I'm upgrading. That's what I'm thinking about upgrading, because it wouldn't work on the time where I'm there in June. It stops right before that. It wouldn't work when I'm there for work in August, and I was like, okay, but it will work for when I'm there in January, and it will work. But like, if I do the next price up, it's $400 more. But I was like, now I'm at that mode now where I'm like, well, $400 is a car payment. That's 1 month of a car you could just pay off. But I'm also like, but a 4-day ticket to buy, or a 3-day ticket to buy with a hopper is like over $400. So like, if I use it just one time, the upgrade would essentially pay for that part of the upgrade. The rest of the pass, though, that's where it kind of gets a little uneven there. But I did also sign up for the half marathon at Walt Disney World and the half marathon out there. So I was like, I have been bleeding money this last month. But yeah, Royal Caribbean. I have done Royal Caribbean cruises before, and I didn't not like them. I enjoyed them. My first cruise was a Disney cruise, but it was like years ago, and I got sick, and then it was the whole thing. It was just like a three-night cruise. But then once I discovered Dramamine, the first like real cruise that was like a 4-day was on Royal Caribbean, on the smaller ship, Majestic of the Seas, something of the Seas, I think, because it reminded me of the Back to the Future Under the Sea dance or something. But you would never name a ship Under the Sea because it would make you think it's sinking. But and then I did the Oasis, which was huge. That was interesting. So you'll have to let me know how it goes. I've heard Virgin. I don't know. I've seen some friends who have gone on Virgin recently. I got to assume they were hosted, but I don't know. I switch back and forth between Uber and Lyft. I was using Lyft for a while because I think like the Uber CEO was like pretty crappy person for a minute there. I don't know if he's different now or not or what it is, but it was basically like I prefer Lyft over that. But they're both those companies are basically just robbing their drivers because like it doesn't matter. So the price, the driver was telling me that he was like, you might have paid $80 to go home from the airport right now, or $20. We're making we don't make more money because the ride went up because they're the ones who have installed the system. So basically, those rideshare systems have now figured out how to rip off the consumer, and then the person who's driving doesn't get proportionate money in terms of that. So it's kind of like, oh God, that makes me feel gross too. But yeah, take a ride. I need to get running. So if the July thing works out, hopefully it'd be like, I tried running out here the other day, and it was just like I'm reminded why I can't run at my apartment anymore. I'm gonna try again and just keep waking up earlier and earlier, and hopefully one of those scenarios works. But whatever. A Ryno cruise, is that what we should do? So I did an ABD for work, an Adventures by Disney for work, and there was like, I don't know, like 30 something people on this trip. Everybody was great. It was wild. I didn't know like any of the people going in, and it was just, we enjoyed ourselves so much. We loved hanging out. Those people all meet up still together, but we were like, let's do another one. But I went for work the first time. So, but like an ABD, as Adventures by Disney, is very expensive. And I was like, I can't afford that. So, but I do think sometimes where I was like, couldn't we all just like plan the trip together and like book our own guides and do whatever and something like that? Wouldn't that be like fun and cheaper? Marla, I would love to do Oogie Boogie. That is on my radar for hopefully like in October, but I don't know when the tickets go on sale, and I know they sell out really quick. So, yeah. Manza, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, I'm glad you're in here. Glad to see you. Jay, did you just send me another thing? Shiba dog writing with a brush, writing number 1 on a piece of paper. I have no idea what that means. Julie Michelle. Oh. Let's plan a cruise together. Listen, I mean, it's not out of the question. I don't know. Could we, like, if we did it on like a Royal Caribbean or even another line, do you think like, I wonder like how that would work if you were like, we're going to book a block of rooms or something like that, and then we could just all go. That would be cool. That would be interesting. I'd be open to it. A do-it-yourself cruise, yeah, like, or maybe it's not even a cruise. No, the cruise is a good idea. I get that. Used to think like it would be cool if we could do things where it was like, I mean, I know this isn't going to appeal to everybody in this chat, but I was like like these gay destinations where you could be like, oh, I want to go to P-Town, and we'll all go to P-Town and we'll stay there for like 4 or 5 days, and like, but like, I don't know, it's like a larger group, right? Or you go to, I don't know where I was thinking. I was just thinking like, oh, these gay friendly places, and it's all, LGBT friendly, or so it's all like it's trips and cruises and things that are for allies too. So everybody on there. So you're in a safe space. So I don't mean to just be like, oh, it's not just, I'm not talking about just like a gay cruise. I'm talking about everybody. You know what I mean? Like the good peeps. You people in here. Oh, it was a super sticker option to do. Oh, okay. So the chat must be registering it. I need to show you. So if you look at it like this, Okay, I can't see the visual super sticker because of the program I'm using right now. So it must be like an actual image. That is hilarious. I thought you wrote that out. It's probably just describing what it was. Oh my god, that's funny. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I agree, Julie. I think that's the beauty of a cruise too, where it's kind of like, oh, we could be like, okay, hey, okay, 7 p.m. we're gonna go down and we're gonna meet in this like cocktail lounge or this club, and we'll like hang out and we'll have our drinks and chat or whatever. Or maybe we'll be like, hey, on Tuesday, it's gonna be like we're gonna all meet in the dining room and we can all have our like fun. I don't know. I do love that idea, but I love keeping it light. Like you do maybe like one activity a day together or something like that, but then you just do whatever you want the rest of the time. Um, David, I appreciate what you're suggesting, but I don't think they would be receptive to that sharing that information with me. So we would have to figure this out all on our own, regardless of that. But also, I don't want to imply that this is a for-profit event or anything like that and we could book it through my current employer too. That way I'm saying that. So that way we know it's not me creating a competitive thing. I just realized what we were planning and that I technically do work for a travel agency. So me saying that sort of stuff sounds like I would be trying to do that on my own, which is what I am not trying to do. I'm just suggesting that we create something outside of the normal things that they do, and then we could use them to book. So there we go. There we go. They don't, yeah, that was dangerous for me for a second there. But anyway, that's what I'm talking about. So I want to, we're just talking about taking a group trip together. Hey, listen, I just renewed my passport and everything too. So here's the thing. If we do this, if this does happen and comes to fruition someday, I would love it if we did one of the ones that went up and not down. So if we like went to cooler areas instead of hotter areas, although I know that's hard for a lot of people that live in cooler areas, but I would like to do one that, remember when they used to do the ones that went like through New York or like out of New York and you went up to like Nova Scotia or something like that? I would like that. I'm tired of the Caribbean ones because, you know, I've been to Nassau more times than any other place out of this country. And so I'm just like, I've done it. I've seen it. I traveled the island before and stuff like that. So I'm just kind of like, I'd like to see some other cool, like I loved the Alaska cruise I did. And that's also one where you're like, oh, it's not traditional. Um, Listen, Diane says she's organized P-Town trips before. We're going during Bear Week. Yeah. Can you imagine? Um, My uncle actually lives in P-Town, so I wouldn't put it out of the question. I'm sorry, I'm reading through the chat. John's turning 30 at the end of the year. I almost stuck out my middle finger at him. Oh, Virgin is an all adults cruise line? I didn't know that. I'd be into that too, honestly. I'm not even kidding. Kim is saying it's not uncommon for different folks to get with an agent to book a group cruise. There's one organizer, but the team. Oh, I guess I've never just like thought of that before. That we could have just been doing that all this time. Mardi Gras week in P-Town. I'm sure that's wild. See, I'd like a New England and Canada cruise. I'd be open to a Canada on the other side as well. Oh, Royal Caribbean got in trouble for dumping. Listen, I've done Royal Caribbean. I'm happy to try a new one. I'd love a Virgin one. Treehouse meetup in July? Where's your treehouse? I'm just kidding. Sorry. Oh god, Tokyo Disney. Hello. I would totally be into that. That's on my bucket list. All right, this is a fun conversation. It gets my mind working. Like if we Wait, I tend to book travel 1 to 2 years, and it's like April 2015 is booked for celebration in Tokyo. In theory, I'm thinking about that Tokyo, that trip as well. The only thing is like already would be like 12 years old, and I already feel bad leaving him, so I'm just like on that fence of being like, ugh. I have not been to New Orleans yet either. That'd be open. Here's places. Let me just throw them out there. Here's places I'd be very open to like figuring out how we do it. Canada. I'd love one that goes to Canada. If we're talking cruises specifically, New Orleans, whatever. One that goes out of Texas would be fine too. Virgin. I'd like to try a new one, so that would be fun. We'll see what my friend says when he reports back. But yeah, we could do something like that. I book with Teresa, or oh my god, who the hell was I on the Alaska cruise with? I cannot remember anybody's name right now. Hold on. Sorry, I was just distracted by another question. I will answer that in 1 second. Okay, I can't find the answer for that right now. Sorry. Anyway. Asherville. Oh, Dollywood. I want to go to Dollywood so bad. I want to do Dollywood, but I want to do like a cabin. Maybe we should just rent a bunch of cabins and go to Dollywood. So you have to visit a meow wolf. What is a meow wolf? Okay, sorry, to backtrack. Alaska. Elaine is what I was talking about. I just realized I was doing two things at once, and it trailed off, and it made it sound like I didn't remember Elaine's name. Elaine. Sorry. I was started thinking about too many things at once. I'm sorry. Tokyo Disney 2025. Southern Dragon. Okay. Just something for everybody to ruminate on. Maybe that would be something fun. Something that's not going to break the bank, but we'd have more than enough time to save up the money. That would be fun. I don't know. I like traveling. Pitching forward for the college reunion, friend, go back and forth, back on the experience. Oh yeah, please do. I'd love to know what that's like. God, yeah, that would be a lot of fun. You know where else? You know where I'd love to go? San Diego. Or I want to go to San Diego Comic-Con. I know that's not a separate trip. I'm just thinking in my brain now, or places where I'm like, oh, I'd love to do that. Places. The bourbon. I would love to, if people want to plan a group trip to Kentucky and go to like stay in Bardstown or something and do all the bourbon like places. I mean, not everybody drinks is the only thing, but I feel like there was still a lot of really cool places there that could go. Maybe somewhere out of Louisville or something like that. That would be fun. I'd like to go back there. Meow Wolf are like children's museums for adults made by artist collectives. The one in Denver is so awesome. It's the size of a Walmart. Oh, that's cool. Have I ever been to Charleston? Yes, one of my childhood friends lives in Charleston, actually, and my cousin was going there quite a bit. Actually, he might be there right now, but I think he runs his business out of Charleston. But I like Charleston a lot. That's a very cool place. I'm definitely thinking about that Star Wars celebration in Tokyo, though. And it's true. I guess the Wandering Panda makes a good point about the cruises where you can just pay the one, like, all that price, you pay that deposit, and then you pay over time. Also, you've got like your food, your lodging, all that stuff's all figured out. So it's not like you're budgeting for the extra things along the way. Okay. Actually, putting it that way is something I really never really sat and kind of thought about, where you're basically paying for this like all-inclusive thing that then like turn the brain off for everything else. Yeah, San Diego is somewhere I still haven't been, and every time I'm like, we're going to go. Kentucky, I would definitely like to hit at some point in the next year, though. Again, well, I keep thinking where I'm like, well, the problem is I have the dogs. I mean, they're not a problem, but I was like, when I go to spend time with my friend in Milwaukee, I think I'm gonna drive there so I can bring them and stay for a little while. And literally, the stop like after night one of driving would be like Bardstown. It'd be like, because that's like 12 hours or whatever, and then it's 6 hours to her house from there if I could do it. But it would probably be like a 10 and an 8 hour drive. I try to drive like 12 hours the first day. I want to make the first day the longest day possible, so every day after that is shorter, because mentally, when you travel that way, it starts to feel a lot longer in your brain. Oh, thank you, Scott. The merch shopping vlogs. The highlight of your day, my day. I haven't been to San Francisco. I was going to throw that out there too. It's very expensive, and I know they have a massive homeless problem right now that they're going through, or unhoused problem, I should say. So it feels a little crazy, but I do really want to go to San Francisco. I want to do I want to do it. What's that movie with Amy Poehler that was on Netflix a while back? That like wine thing. Like we'll just go and do that. That'd be fun. I'd be into that. Something like that. Let's just all go to Vermont. Let's all go make candles. Let's go to Yankee Candle. No, I think that's actually in Massachusetts, in Springfield. That's not a place I want to go and spend a bunch of time. Sorry, Springfield. No, it's not in Springfield. It's in it's like 2 towns over or something. I just spit. If people are trying to send me messages, you can go to my Instagram. And there's a button too with my email on there now, where it just says message me, and that's easier. King Arthur Flower Company is in Vermont. Oh, I should take Artie up there for a picture. I have never drank a beer so slow. I've literally been working on this for over an hour. Not because it's like great or anything like that. Ben & Jerry's, I know, Vermont. I know. All right, we'll have to toy around with the idea. I'm going to go, and because I want to play a little bit more of my video game. I actually need to clean and organize and stuff like that. It is causing me a lot of mental distress. But I'm guaranteeing you right now, I'm probably just going to play the video game and then just be upset at myself later. So thank you all. This has been great and wonderful. Let's brainstorm on this further, shall we? I love it. I very much appreciated the super chats today and everybody's like support. I also wanted to let you know on my personal Patreon, I didn't say it earlier, or maybe I did say it earlier. So we announced our April winners. So if you are a Patreon supporter and you participated in those contests, for me personally, mine, which is RYNO1185, I announced the winners just before this on there, and then I'm also going to message them separately. But the May contests are all going to be Goofy Movie Powerline related. So I did a little stream on there, and I showed all the things you can win. It's a Funko Pop that was exclusive to Funko.com. The next one up was the Loungefly bag, and then the third one was a Max as Powerline painting. So those are the May Patreon. If you're interested in those or participating in those contests, that's patreon.com/Ryno, RYNO1185. Again, that is just me personally, because I like to do these contests. I think they're a lot of fun. I'd like to thank you all for your kind words and your support, and I will have that high tea video up this week, as well as I'm sure we're going to do another live stream before the week is out. I just don't know the days. I should probably like start settling into a day. I like doing it on Sunday. Maybe I'll do it on Tuesday. I don't know. We'll see. Just stay tuned. If you do want to get like notified, I think if you click the bell, it might like send you a message or something like that when you do it. I don't know. That's up to you though. Sometimes it's like too many emails, so it's like I don't want to be notified about stuff. But anyway, enough. Thank you, everybody. Bye. Have a great night. You're all wonderful.